I've been in education 40 years. I served as a teacher and a coach for 12 years at West Sioux and Hayward. Became a middle school principal at River Valley, Correctionville for 1 year, middle school principal at Sergeant Bluff Luton for 12 years, and then the last 15 years as superintendent of schools at Sergeant Bluff Luton.
And I'm just trying to do the math in my head. I've been in the Sioux City district for 18 years. And I was a third grade teacher, a fourth grade teacher. I was a third grade dual language teacher. Then I was an assistant principal and then a head principal. And I've been both, I was a principal for 13 years.
Yeah, awesome. So why did you get into education?
For me, I wanted to, I like working with students, and I like coaching. So the teaching and the coaching together really was a great opportunity for me. Started out as a business major at Drake, and about halfway through my freshman year, I realized that wasn't going to be my cup of tea. Probably went into business because my brother was in college and it was a business. Really didn't, one of those people really didn't know what I wanted to do going into college, but figured it out rather quickly once I started.
Yeah.
I have a similar. I went to school for business initially, and after my junior year, right before I was going to graduate, I decided that I didn't want to go into business. And so then I just getting to work with kids, that was always something I enjoyed. And so I realized, if I work in business, I have to work with adults all day. So education just made sense.
Yeah, awesome. So both of you have served you said you served as a principal before, right?
Yes, for 13 years.
Yeah, so why did you decide to make that switch from a teaching position to an administrative position?
That's pretty simple for me. I saw the people that were in administration, not only in the school district I was serving as a teacher, but in other school districts, and I would just think to myself, I know I can do a better job than they can do or they are doing. So that motivated me, and I wanted to make a bigger difference and a bigger impact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think getting to make a bigger difference as a principal. I felt like if I became a principal, I could use other skills I had to help other teachers and students. I had a principal that I actually had a principal who approached me and had shared with me that he really thought that I would be a good principal, and that have you considered it? And I was working on my master's at the time, but not in administration. So then I was like, oh well, maybe. And then I got my administrative degree, my master's in administration, and then I didn't use it for a couple of years. And then I was approached, like, there's a position open. We would encourage you. We think you'd be a good fit. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. So why did you decide to apply for this interim position and move to this district?
That's a great question. I'd been in Sergeant Bluff for 27 years. And when I decided to leave Sergeant Bluff, resign, I could have done a few things. I could just retire, I guess, and fish and golf and do whatever I wanted. I just wasn't ready for that yet. So I was going to look at other opportunities, whatever those other opportunities were. There's always opportunities in educational administration, especially at the superintendency, for maybe some districts, smaller districts, sometimes look for part-time superintendents. I thought maybe that'd be a nice segue into retirement. Some people, there's late resignations, some are looking for interim superintendents. And I had no idea at that time that Sioux City Community School District would be in search of an interim superintendent. I did not know Dr. Gosman was leaving at the time. So I was just keeping my options open, and then I was contacted about the possibility of this position as an interim. And of course, it kind of turned light bulb went off, and thought about it quite a bit, had more conversations, had talked to a lot of people, outside of Sioux City about this opportunity, and it came down to really it was a kind of a no-brainer for me. It was an opportunity to continue to grow professionally, to step in a whole new role, a whole new set of responsibilities. Although superintendent's responsibilities, some are the same, but when you get a district the size of Sioux City, then there's a lot more going on, a lot more layers, a lot more. Obviously, when you go from a district of 1,700 students to a district of 14,000 students, there's a difference. So
Yeah,
that's it.
definitely. So kind of the same question for you. Why did you decide to apply for the associate superintendent position?
Well, last year, the year prior, I was the director of curriculum instruction and assessment, and it really was I worked with Dr. Burianic really closely. Her position was almost like a direct connection with that department. And so it was something where I felt that I could grow and I could learn other aspects of the district level administration, but that I felt I had enough that I had, because her job was such a direct connection to curriculum instruction, assessment, and professional development, which when you think about that is a lot to do with the school district. You know, everything we teach, everything we test, everything we teach teachers, and everything that teachers do. I mean, it really impacts like everything. And so yeah, I really got to learn a lot from her working with her last year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what are some of the things you see as highlights in the district? Some of the big things that really stand out to you?
From my perspective, I see, and I've met with a lot of building leadership teams, I see people that care deeply about the school district. They care deeply about the kids they serve and the community they serve. I see a real passion for making improvements in what they do each and every day.
I would say that I've got to experience all levels of administration in the district, at all the secondary and the elementary levels, and at several different schools. And we just seeing the same thing even though they're different buildings, different demographics, is that we have really good, we have great families in this district who just really, you know, they care about their children, they care about their education, and we have a diverse population at the same time, with the common thread that we just have some really great kids here. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you hope to address or work on, or are areas of focus for you in your new position?
Well, I think those have really been outlined by the Board of Education with the new cell phone policy and student engagement. We talk about cell phone policy, but as Angela often reminds us, it's really not about the cell phone policy. It's really about student engagement and getting kids back engaged in quality lessons and quality instruction every single day. So that's obviously first and foremost is student engagement. Student behavior, which aligns with climate and culture, and that's everywhere. That's all of us. That starts here, in these offices. The climate and culture, how we treat each other, whether we choose to come to work and be positive and productive, or choose to come to work and try to be critical and micromanage people. To me, my glass is always pretty much full. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I come to work is, there's a lot of great people and a lot of really great things going on. When you really think about what's going on in the world and you try to fit that into education, we have a big responsibility for the future. And we need to take care of our students and make sure we're meeting their needs in lots of different ways. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with everything Dr. Earleywine stated. really when I think about this year, if I could, like visually, I just see like staff and students smiling and engaged with each other. And that's really, with COVID, we have, we started relying heavily on like technology and different, which is positive, which we've got a lot of new curriculum supports for students this year that we have, been able to teach our teachers how to use and how to engage students with. But putting all together, all the pieces, the behavior and discipline, the student engagement, the climate and culture, the building the relationships between colleagues and between staff and students and between student to students. Like just bringing back some joy to the school day and the schools, the life of a student. Mm-hmm.
And I would follow up with that as well with the teaming and middle school concept being re-implemented. I mean, that all has to do with the climate and culture of a school, making sure that students are engaged with positive adults each and every day, and that, break it up into teams where students feel like they have an adult they can go to and an adult that they really know, and that the teachers and the adults in the building can really get to know. When you have big schools, it's hard to get to know everybody. So if you break that down and you chunk it, so to speak, in smaller houses, then we can really work on relationships.
Mm-hmm. And I was a principal at North Middle in the past, where we did have the teaming, and it was a great, those kids, they share all the same teachers. So when the teams get together, they talk about their kids. Every student has the same set of core teachers. It really does, it has an accountability piece when you have a relationship built there. Then their students and staff feel more accountable with the students and vice versa.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of these skills or unique traits or things you're bringing into this position that might be new to the district or unique?
That's a good question. Well, I guess my skills, I was a teacher for 12 years, and I taught primary, really young elementary kids, and I also taught high school, so I have that background. And then I was a middle school principal for 13 years, so I really understand principals and what they have to deal with. And I shared this with the principals. I really believe they have the toughest job in the district. Being a principal is tough. It's hard because you're that middle manager, right? So you get it from up here, the top, and you have it, you're dealing with kids, and then you also have the parent aspect of it that you're dealing with constantly and continually. So they have a tough job. So I think I can really empathize with the building principals. I see myself still as a teacher, meaning that I think I have a lot of experience and knowledge that I can share that is very applicable. It doesn't matter whether you come from a small district or a big district, administration is administration. Kids are kids. Parents are parents. And again, it's the same pretty much wherever you go. It's just a bigger district. So my skill set, I think, again, is I really am a positive person. I try to come, again, every day being very positive. I just have a very positive life, and I have a really good life. And I try to share that positivity with everybody I come in contact with.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. I would absolutely agree with that. I also am very fortunate to have a great life, and always to have a job that I always say, like, my husband is in education as well, and we always go to school every day. Even though I work at the ESC still, I still call it going to school. Like, I'm going to school, not to work. So, but I think, what would be unique to me in this position is that I've had my the majority of my career in Sioux City schools, and I have had experience in both levels. in administration, in the secondary and in the middle school, or in the elementary school. So I've had the opportunity to have an understanding of what's the same and what's different. And that I also then have that knowledge of just our curriculum and what is expected of our teachers to, again, like empathize, right? Like looking at it from the teacher's perspective or the principal's perspective. And also our community is unique. And like Dr. Earleywine said, all kids are kids and teachers are teachers. But Sioux City does have some unique qualities that it benefits me to, like, I lived here my whole life. I went to school in Sioux City. It's hard for me to like see it, go to Walmart and not know like 20 people, right? Just from having been a teacher and a principal. So I think that's, something unique.
Yeah, definitely. So how has the summer been getting adjusted to this new position for both of you?
The summer's been busy.
Mm-hmm.
I ended at Sergeant Bluff Luton, at the end of June, and I started, the 1st of July here. Although July 1st was on a Friday, I did not start on that Friday. I started right after the 4th, so actually I started the 5th of July. But it's been busy. It's been a great learning experience. I've told people this. Really been kind of energized by just there's so much to learn for me. And I have also stated this before, I have a lot of knowledge about the Sioux City Community School District. I mean, I was in Sergeant Bluff for 27 years, so you get to know the people. I know a lot of people that teach here. I know a lot of the administrators here. I knew Dr. Gosman pretty well. But although I have a lot of knowledge about the district, I'm not knowledgeable, meaning I don't know all the details. And that's what I'm digging into and getting to know, and it's been interesting, it's been exciting, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been very busy. So, and just like getting to, Dr. Earleywine has a lot of knowledge about just the superintendency, right? And so us working together really closely has been good. I think I do believe we have similar. Our classes are both pretty full all the time. It's hard for it's hard for me to have a bad day. So I think just getting to, it's been really busy, but I have learned a lot in the last month. More, I'd probably guess I've learned more in the last month than I have in a long time in my job. So it's been very invigorating it's exciting.